Hey everyone, welcome to The Bold and the Beautiful. I'm Oma, and I'm so excited to have you here. If you love Bold and Beautiful update, then you're in the right place. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Alright, let's dive right in. You ever had that one moment where your anger just takes over, and before you know it, your hand is already moving? That was me. I saw Luna standing there with that smug little smile, pretending she hadn't destroyed Will's life, and I snapped. My fist connected with her face, and for half a second, it felt like justice. But the second after, dread. Because I realized I'd given her exactly what she wanted. Ammo. And now, somehow, she's using my punch to make herself the victim. While the man I love, the man she violated, is the one protecting her. That's when I knew. This wasn't just a fight. This was a war. And I might be the one losing. I don't even know where to begin, because honestly, living through this mess has felt like watching my whole life collapse in slow motion. People see bits and pieces on the outside, the shouting, the rumors, the confrontations, but they don't really understand what it's like to be inside of it, carrying the weight of it every single day. My name is Electra, and I guess if you're watching this, you've probably already heard something about me. Maybe you've seen the clips. Maybe you've read the posts. The one where I hauled off and slugged Luna. That's what everyone calls it. That moment, that punch, has been replayed and twisted and torn apart until it doesn't even feel like mine anymore. But let me tell you, the truth of how I got to that point is so much bigger than just one hit. You see, Luna has been circling my life like a storm cloud for longer than I care to admit. She doesn't just show up. She invades. She manipulates. She worms her way into people's heads, always with that same little smirk, like she knows something the rest of us don't. And when it came to Will, my Will, she went too far. When Will first told me about that night, the night Luna took advantage of him, I swear I felt my heart stop beating for a second. I've seen Will drunk before. I've had to carry him inside, take care of him, hold water to his lips because he couldn't even hold a glass. And I know for a fact that night was one of those times. He wasn't capable of saying yes to anyone. He wasn't capable of protecting himself. And she knew it. She knew it, and she still walked into his room, shut the door, and did what she wanted anyway. The rage that burned in me after he told me, I don't think I've ever felt anything like it in my life. It wasn't just anger. It was grief. It was betrayal. It was this sickening, helpless feeling of watching someone you love be broken by a person who walks away smiling. Do you know what that does to you? It makes you feel like you're going to explode, like your body can't contain the heat boiling inside you. So when I saw her that day, standing there with that smug look on her face, pretending like she was the victim, like she had been wronged, it was like something snapped inside me. My hand moved before my brain even caught up. And yeah, I hit her. Hard. People say violence isn't the answer. Maybe they're right. But I'll tell you this. In that split second, it felt like justice. It felt like finally, someone was taking away her control. She staggered back, clutching her face like she couldn't believe it had happened. And I almost laughed, because for once, she wasn't in charge. But here's the thing they don't show you in those clips. The immediate wave of dread that crashed over me afterward. Because I knew. I knew the second my fist connected with her jaw that I had given her exactly what she wanted. Ammo. And I was right. She's already twisting the story, crying about how I attacked her out of nowhere, how I endangered her and her pregnancy, how I'm this violent, jealous girlfriend who can't control herself. Meanwhile, she's standing there playing the innocent, acting like she didn't destroy Will's sense of safety, his trust, his ability to even look at himself in the mirror without shame. Do you know what it's like to watch the person you love struggle with that? To see the way he avoids certain words, certain places, because they remind him of what she did? To see him recoil at the sound of her name? And now, on top of all that, he feels guilty. Guilty, because some twisted part of him still feels like he has to protect her. Protect the child she's carrying, the child she forced on him. And that's where it kills me. Because even though she's the monster here, she's gotten exactly what she wanted. Will's attention. His time. His protection. She's managed to plant herself right in the center of his world again, and I feel like I'm the one standing on the outside, screaming for him to see what's really happening. Sometimes, late at night, I lie awake staring at the ceiling, and I wonder if I made everything worse. If by hitting her, I just solidified her hold on him. If I gave her the perfect excuse to spin her lies louder, longer, and more convincingly than before. But then I remember the look on her face. The shock. The crack in her mask. And I think maybe, just maybe, that moment was worth it. Because for the first time in a long time, Luna realized she wasn't untouchable. After the punch, things didn't calm down. They never do they? The room felt like it shifted, like the air thickened. I could hear my own heartbeat in my ears, loud and punishing, like it was mocking me for letting my emotions win. Luna's hand was clutched to her cheek, her mouth hanging open in a perfect little oh of shock. But what unsettled me most wasn't the physical reaction. It was the glimmer of satisfaction that flickered in her eyes. Like she'd been waiting for this. Like she had baited me into it. Will's voice was the next thing I remember. Sharp, panicked, filled with a kind of desperation I wasn't used to hearing from him. Electra, what the hell are you doing? He rushed to her side. To her side. And my chest felt like it was caving in. I wanted to scream at him. Are you serious right now? Do you not remember what she did to you? But the words jammed in my throat. He was touching her elbow, asking if she was okay, if she needed to sit down, if she needed a doctor. That's when it hit me like a sucker punch to the gut. Luna had already won this round. Because what can a man do when the woman who violated him is standing there pregnant, holding her belly with one hand like a shield and dabbing her cheek with the other? He feels guilty. Protective. Even if he doesn't want to. Even if he hates her. That's the kind of trap she sets, and I walked right into it with both fists swinging. Later that night, I sat on the edge of our bed, my hands trembling in my lap. Will was pacing, his hair a mess from running his hands through it over and over. You can't do that, he said, his voice tight, almost breaking. You can't just hit her. You don't understand what that means, what she's going to do with that. I do understand, I snapped, my voice sharper than I intended. I understand better than you think. She's been manipulating you from the second she laid eyes on you. And now she's using that baby to chain herself to you forever. And you, I choked on the words. You keep letting her. He froze, his back to me. His shoulders sagged, and I thought maybe he was about to break down, admit I was right. But instead, he whispered, it's not that simple. And that was the moment I realized how deep this went. How much of him she had already consumed. The days that followed were a blur of tension and whispered conversations. Everyone had their own opinion, their own version of the story. Some people saw me as the villain, the jealous girlfriend who lost control. Others secretly told me they admired me, that they wished someone had put Luna in her place a long time ago. But admiration doesn't clean up the mess. Katie came to see me one afternoon. She sat across from me at the kitchen table, her eyes sharp, her hands folded neatly in front of her. Electra, she said, her voice calm but firm, you have to let us handle this. If you lose your temper again, she'll use it to bury you, and Will with you. Her words stung, not because they were cruel, but because they were true. I'd given Luna exactly what she wanted, a chance to play the victim. A chance to make me the aggressor while she draped herself in innocence. But then Katie's face softened, and she reached across the table, laying her hand over mine. I know you're hurting. I know you feel like you have to protect him. But the best way you can do that right now is to stay strong. Don't give her another weapon to use. I nodded, but inside I felt like I was shattering. Because staying strong felt impossible when every time I saw Will, I saw the distance growing between us. Then came Lee. Oh, Lee. I'll never forget the night she found out the truth. We were all in her apartment. Bill, Katie, me, Will, and Luna, of course, standing there with her crocodile tears. Will finally told them everything, every ugly detail about that night. How drunk he was. How he woke up disoriented, violated, unable to remember everything but knowing enough to understand what had been taken from him. Bill's face turned red with rage. Katie was holding back tears. And Lee looked like she had been cut open with a knife. She stared at Luna, her jaw tight, her nostrils flaring. And then, without warning, she lunged. I swear, it was like something primal took over her. She slammed Luna against the wall, her hand around her throat, her voice a raw scream. You evil little snake! You will not destroy this family. Will jumped forward, pulling her back, his voice frantic. Lee, stop! You'll kill her. And maybe that's exactly what Lee wanted in that moment. I can't blame her. Watching Luna's mask crack, seeing her eyes wide with fear for once instead of smugness. It was terrifying, but it was also the first time I felt like someone truly understood the rage burning inside me. Of course, that moment only fueled Luna's lies even further. She stumbled away, gasping, clutching her stomach as if the baby itself was under attack. She tried to kill me, she sobbed. She tried to kill me and my baby. And Will, God Will, he rushed to her side again. That night, when we were finally alone, I broke down. I don't mean just tears. I mean full-on heaving, gut-wrenching sobs that tore out of me like they'd been trapped for years. I told him I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't keep fighting a war where every move I made only seemed to give her more power. I feel like I'm losing you, I whispered into the silence. Every time she's in the room, it's like you're not mine anymore. You're hers. Not because you love her, but because she's tied herself to you in a way I can't compete with. And I don't know how to live with that. He sat on the floor in front of me, his hands on my knees, his eyes wet. You're not losing me, he said, his voice breaking. But I don't know how to fight her either. And that's when it hit me. We weren't just fighting Luna. We were fighting the system she thrived in. The lies, the manipulation, the sympathy she knew how to summon on command. She was playing a game where the rules were written in her favor, and we were always 2 steps behind. But even so, I couldn't walk away. Because as much as it hurt, as much as it broke me, I loved him. And I wasn't going to let her take him from me. Not without a fight.